Now, while we are here sitting in traffic, letting the full Acura watch system do its thing, we need to talk about this ELS Studio audio system in this TLX, because I've been getting more and more into listening to car audio speakers. I'm definitely not an expert on audio systems. I'm not a full-on audiophile, but I do really appreciate a fantastic vehicle audio system, and this is, wow, this is really good. One of my most favorite systems I've experienced was the Volvo Bowers & Wilkins system, as well as the BMW i7's Bowers & Wilkins, like 4D audio, which was crazy. The Volvo's is really, really good. That was on another level, but I have to say, this ELS Studio 3D system, which I believe it has around 17 speakers, really does the trick as well. So before we even get into our audio test, we're going to go into our settings here. So we're going to swipe over to our settings, which is a little bit clumsy sometimes to get to with this touch interface here. But once you do make it to your sound settings here, you have quite a lot of stuff you can configure here. So we can adjust our bass, treble, and the mid-range. We can also adjust the roof and center speaker volume. So there's, again, a 17 speaker audio system in this pretty tiny interior of a vehicle. So there are speakers quite literally surrounding you at all times. So you can adjust pretty much all of those parameters, which I really like. You can also adjust, obviously, your auto zones from full vehicle, driver, front, rear. We also have adjustments for our speed compensation volume, which I'm not too big of a fan of, as well as this GTS neural sound surround option. So it's a simulated surround system, which is really interesting, and since it doesn't apply to all audio apps as well, I have it, I believe it's on right now. I haven't really noticed a difference, at least with using Apple Music and Spotify actually when turning it on and off, but it is there. I'm not sure what exactly is going to really trigger that to have a big difference in change in audio sound. We also have a compressed audio enhancement, which I actually have off right now. Again, I haven't really noticed too much of a difference. I'm not sure if I'm just using a different setting or something, but these are all of your settings you have. There's no kind of stages or anything, which I think, or like concert hall stages or jazz room stages, which I think is perfectly fine, because I think the system works very well on its own. It also gets really loud and is very crisp. So let's throw on our audio test track song, and I want you guys to have a listen to this system for yourself. We have our volume knob right here. We also control the volume from our steering wheel. Okay, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that audio test here of this ELS Studio 3D audio system, because honestly, it's been really fun to listen to. I would say it's just below those higher tier audio systems from the Bowers and Wilkins, but it's really good. I wouldn't say better, but it's just around at that level, and that's fantastic at a vehicle that's like $20,000-$30,000 less than some of those vehicles with those higher end audio systems. So really great job from Acura here. Now, one thing I will question is what's happening over at Acura is they seem to be ditching ELS and moving over to Bowers and Wilkins. One of the first new vehicles to do so, well, I guess the first two new vehicles to do so, is the all new Acura ZDX, as well as the Acura MDX Type-S, or just MDX facelift as well. So I'm very curious to see how that audio setup is going to sound, if it's better than this ELS Studio 3D audio system. We will have to wait and see for that. But as of right now, this is the 2024 TLX. It is fresh, hot on the market right now. And if you have the ability to get this audio system, please do so, especially on the Type-S, as it's standard equipment. Again, I'm going to reiterate, the amount of standard equipment you're getting on this TLX Type-S is mind-numbingly amazing. So look at that price point, look at the TLX if you're looking at a vehicle that is a sporty, luxury, compact sedan. This is definitely something to consider. Now, the rear seats of the TLX are thankfully still nicely a pointed place to be. I do like how Acura includes touch to lock and unlock the vehicle on all four door handles. Very nice, convenience and luxury feature. The door hits themselves open pretty wide, and the qualities of materials back here are quite good. The whole car is built very, very solidly. We have these nice metal speaker grills for our ELS Studio 3D audio system, which has, I think, around 17 speakers. Fantastic system, by the way. We do have some storage here for a water bottle, as well as this nice red leather here with this contrasting stitching. Really nice dynamic door design. The door opening sound is actually really solid as well. So let's hop inside now. Getting in's pretty easy, though, like I said before, a little bit of a tight space here. And here we are in the interior, or at least the rear of the Acura TLX. Now, new for 2024 are actually these additional USB-C ports back here, which is a good, nice, modernizing touch. We have some climate vents as well, and the seats themselves are really, really comfortable. Nice thigh support. You have a good amount of backrest support. They're not very flat. They have a nice shape to them. I really like the dynamic shape as well, and materials from the leather that's perforated to this kind of microfiber, micro suede style material in the center. Really nice touch here. We can fold down the center console here for a 2 cup holders, as well as a little storage cubby. And of course, the seats do fold down, though, like I said, that space is hampered by a chassis brace in between the trunk and this interior cabin. You can see we do have a pretty significant center hump here, so center passenger seating is not gonna be ideal, especially if you have more adults in here, because it's already a pretty tight space. And as you can see here, this is my comfortable seating position. I can't really sit behind myself. I would say I'm driving a little bit obnoxiously, but of a more reasonable sitting position, this is what it's going to look like back here. But it's still very much on the tighter end. We do have some LED lights up here if you do want to activate those, as well as these roof-mounted speakers as part of our ELS audio system. And we do have a little bit of a front sunroof here, though, again, no panoramic roof here, which I think is okay, because I think headroom would be compromised by that severely. But let's go hop up to the best place to be in the TLX, which is the driver's seat, and check out what's new on this interior for 2024. So now let's go hop into the front end of the TLX, where a lot of the real changes are happening here. And of course, same nice materials that we saw on the rear are found up front, except we have even more of this nice aluminum trim here. It's very BMW-esque in its design, which is not a bad thing. You can see there's an ambient lighting strip running across up here as well. And again, really nice sounds with the locks on this interior. I really like that. Again, more nice speaker grills for our ELS Studio audio system. And up front, of course, we have a lot more customizable seats here. I believe there are 16-way adjustable seats here. We have adjustable side supports, we have thigh support, we have lumbar support, as well as a whole bunch of power adjustments as well for the passenger. So really nice luxury features there. We also have the Type-S logo embossed into the headrest here, which is nice to us, and a really nice, again, contrasting stitching and piping. We have Type-S aluminum sill plates on the side, as well as Type-S floor mats and aluminum pedals. So a really gorgeous interior. And let's hop inside now. Nice solid door thunk. We have a little bit of a welcome animation on the screen here. And I have to say, the processor quality on these screens and displays is really top notch. Everything's very quick and responsive and instant. I really have no glitches or lags in here. I've not experienced that once. And let's turn it on. We have our stop start button right here. Nice, very nice design here. It's kind of pulsating. You can kind of see this right now. Pretty cool touch. And we can see that all new digital gauge cluster on the front end of this Acura TLX here. And that's really the highlight of this interior for the 2024 model year. And this is not a new digital gauge cluster. We did see this on the MDX before, but now it is here on the TLX. And again, really nice, gorgeous display. So how does it work? Well, you control really all of it from this panel right over here, and it's super easy to do, very quick and responsive. So we can see on our right hand side here, we have all of this customizable information we can cycle through. And I really love this super handling all-wheel drive screen, which shows you how the super handling all-wheel drive is distributing its power across all four wheels, which is really cool to see. G-force meter, tension level, seat belts, all that fun stuff. And we can also change the gauges to crafted mode as well. So this is a more traditional style view, or we can have that more aggressive style view of this advanced mode, which I actually quite prefer. And it does change per drive mode. So we're in comfort now. You can see this is what it looks like normal. We have sport here as well as sport plus. So a few different views we can kind of see throughout the different drive modes. So that's a really fun feature. And that also changes with the other view as well. Now, other than that, there isn't that many major changes on this interior. We have the same really fantastic steering wheel. It almost fits like a glove here of how well it's sculpted to your hands. We have these very stubby little paddle shifters here, which do work very well. They are responsive, though I don't really use them that much because this transmission works fantastically in automatic mode. And again, I really love this steering wheel shape and design. We have a flat bottom design here, Type-S badge. Again, controls are very easy to use. And what's really fantastic is Acura Watch, all of their safety systems are standard now. So we have a camera button here, which opens up our front view camera system here. So we can see this kind of 3D view. We also have a side view for our wheels, as well as even more views when you go into reverse and stuff. So really nice stuff there. We also have full radar adaptive cruise control. Our blind spot monitor cameras have been increased back for a better view in the rear. So we have this sensor right here to alert you in your blind spot, hidden right in this little panel here. We also have full steering and lane keep assist. So really a really great system, good visualizations of what's happening as well. Very high marks on this one. We also have a heads-up display. I believe it's standard now on the TLX Type-S, and it's very easy to control here with these physical buttons. I love physical buttons for heads-up display control, so you don't have to fiddle through all of your menus. Tilt and brightness as well, very easy to control. We can control what's on it as well through these systems. We also have a quick button here for our safety systems, so they'll bring up all the settings for our safety systems, which will be found right there. Very easy to navigate. We have a windshield wiper, de-icer, parking sensors, traction control, and as well as a master dimmer switch for the interior. So really nice layout of ergonomics for buttons in here. And I love, again, the steering wheel design's top notch. Of course, we have automatic wipers and headlights, auto high beams, as we should expect on a modern luxury vehicle. And then there's the rest of this interior design here, and not much has generally changed versus the 2023 and previous model years, though this screen is a little bit bigger than it was before, though unfortunately it is still not a touchscreen. You still are required to use this true touch interface that Acura has here, which I believe they're slowly phasing out because the new MDX facelift got rid of it. I don't think people like it too much, and I have to say, over my week of testing, it's a little bit confusing to use. It's not a trackpad like a mouse like those old Lexus systems, which were very unintuitive. This is intuitive in the sense that you do get used to it over time, but it's just not convenient, I think, to use in all cases. Specifically, right for this example here, it's true touch in the sense that this point corresponds to that left point, this point corresponds to the bottom point, and you kind of scroll around to kind of feel where they all are. There's no haptic feedback either, but it's not that difficult to use. It's not super sensitive, and it kind of tacks onto these different icons. So again, you do get used to it, but not the best system. It would be nice to have a touchscreen option here. And this is a split screen. So this right hand screen is actually controlled by this little side interface here. So you just scroll through those little panels here, and those will always be there, which is a nice touch as well. I think it's nice to have that little split view, especially since the screen is just so big. I don't really have too much of an issue with it. We also have nice physical buttons for our home screen, and then what's going on in that card style area over there, and a back button as well. We also have a physical volume scroll wheel here, which is nice. This whole plastic panel here, thankfully, isn't hard, scratchy plastic. It's like this kind of softer touch plastic, but it doesn't feel super premium. At least it's not that. This is what I'm happy they didn't put over this entire interior. You also have this little bit of a armrest here, which is very well designed. The design of this interior is fantastic, but some of the ergonomic things I think could be improved. Specifically with the shifter here, you know, it works well. You do get used to it, but we could have a little bit of a knob or even a little bit of a normal shifter. I don't think that'd be too big of an issue. What I do love though is Acura's drive mode selector. This is my favorite drive mode selector. I love how they put it front and center. You really can control it, and it changes so much of the vehicle. I think it deserves its place. It's also illuminated and feels very nice to change. It also makes a very cool sound and animations when you're kind of cycling through the screens. You also have an individual mode when you press this button that you can configure through the infotainment system as well. So really love this. Climate controls, I'm happy that they kept physical climate controls, though they do look a little bit on the outdated side, not very luxurious for looking buttons. They do feel very fine with heated and ventilated seats, auto climate control, all that fun stuff. And like, of course, the dash design is very nice with this nice contrasting red stitching, and it really is a very premium looking interior. Just some things I think should be improved with time, hopefully in another update or the next generation of the TLX. I love this aluminum trim on the center console, very dynamic shapes, and of course you have ambient lighting running through the center console as well as the door panels to really give you this encapsulating cockpit style feel. We have auto dimming rear view mirrors with HomeLink integration, no digital camera mirror, which I really don't think is an issue because I think the rear glass is very big for your viewing. We have a sunglass holder up here as well as a manual shade for our tiny little sunroof up front, which is a nice touch.